بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to the Alchemy of Hippie-ness YouTube channel. We're indeed privileged to see you again in this 12th episode of the Stories of the Prophets. Today, we wish to share with you the learning points from the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah sent Prophet Yusuf, the son of Prophet Yaqub, to the people of Egypt and supported him with abilities that made sense to his people. During the time of Prophet Yusuf, dreams and the interpretation of dreams were very important, and this is clear throughout his story. For example, Prophet Yaqub, the companions of the prison, and the king of Egypt all had dreams. Hence, the beginning of Surah Yusuf in chapter 12 of the Quran began with a young boy describing his dream to his beloved father. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين صدق الله العظيم. Verily, I saw in a dream 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating themselves to me. The Quran then concludes the story in the same way as it began, with the interpretation of the dream. The 11 stars were his brothers, the sun his father, and the moon was his mother. Without any doubt, Prophet Yusuf went through an enormous series of tests and challenges. By appreciating Surah Yusuf and through all of his tribulations, we learn an important and practical lesson. And it is not only of patience, but of beautiful patience, yani sabran jamilan. Let us then run through some of these trials. 1. He was first left abandoned to die in a well. 2. He was sold as a slave in the market of Egypt. 3. He was subjected to the test of seduction by his employer's wife. 4. He was put in prison to save the reputation of his employer and to prevent further acts of indiscretion. 5. He was forgotten and hence lost his chance of freedom despite having helped his fellow cellmate. And finally, after eventually gaining his freedom, to have to deal with his brothers with the highest moral ground. But despite these very trying moments, he constantly rises up to the challenge and respond in ways that inspires us to the highest levels of morality. Let us now examine some of the learning points from his story. 1. Allah is the one who is in absolute control of all of our affairs. Throughout his story, we saw how evil plans were thwarted to better outcomes. So keep your faith. Trust your life in the most stable and strongest handhold of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 2. The struggles and challenges subjected to Prophet Yusuf early in his life were all tests designed to mold, to develop, to strengthen, and to realize the potential of Prophet Yusuf's character. They were the first steps on the ladder to greatness. So do not be angry with Allah for testing you. InsyaAllah, He has better plans for you later. 3. In Sahih Muslim, Prophet Muhammad described Prophet Yusuf as the embodiment of half of all beauty. So a question is, what is this beauty? Is it a mere reference to physical beauty, or does beauty transcend beyond the physical? As Prophet Yusuf grew, Allah gave him wisdom and good judgment, and all who knew him acknowledged his beauty, humility, piety, honesty, and nobility. We have to ask ourselves this germane question: what makes you beautiful? Strive to attain that measure of beauty in the eyes of Allah, as demonstrated by the holistic beauty of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And finally, Surah Yusuf was revealed to Prophet Muhammad during the year of sorrow. Prophet Muhammad had to bear 3 years of boycott, the death of his beloved wife Khadija and his uncle Abu Talib. Both had provided him with comfort and support in his life. In addition, he also faced the horrendous rejection in Taif. So Allah was in a way advising the Prophet that the road ahead may be long and difficult, but the ultimate victory belongs to those who have taqwa and to those who bear patience. And the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is a beautiful lesson for us all. True patience, or beautiful patience, is the key to success in this world and in the hereafter, InsyaAllah. In conclusion, InsyaAllah, I hope that in reading Surah Yusuf and learning about this beautiful and patient prophet, we will be inspired to examine the concept of beauty in our own lives, and to become that holistically beautiful believer that we should be. And I pray that after this session, we will be motivated to strive to inculcate not only patience, but beautiful patience in all of our life's experiences, be they good or bad, InsyaAllah, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. With that, I hope to see you again in the next episode of the Stories of the Prophets. Love, the Alchemist.